The players are ready. What am I doing? Let's not keep them waiting anymore. I keep forgetting to look for the ready, so I'm just reading chat. So much has changed in the last few years. All right. And this will be my last restream before Christmas, unless I have another one in like an hour, but I don't think that's going to happen. So, I don't know. Merry Christmas, everybody. Welcoming in Aaron. Come on, Lokenze. And early on here, both players with, I don't know, I guess they're not really sketchy stacks because they're rollers. DAS player, I'd be a little bit worried. And yeah, no problems. Early lead for Tugi, 165 to 107. Right, why are you still awake, Stolen? Didn't you... Wait, did you wake up at 4 AM today or yesterday? I can't even remember. Or was it 7? Oh, that was yesterday, right? I've actually lost track of time. All days just blend together. Yeah, honestly, couldn't say, like, I don't really remember a lot of the matches I've restreamed, to be honest, or co-commentated. I guess I restreamed. Wait, no, that was peak. Yeah, I can't even remember. Yeah, I can't remember. I would have done some of the finals earlier on. But in terms of like relative skill level, this match is almost surely going to be the highest skill level match. We've got a current top 40 ELO player and a current, I think, about 20 ELO. And these days, being ranked 20 in ELO means you're kind of cracked. Like, you probably would have won CTWC a few years ago, like, quite comfortably. But yeah, it's not going to happen now, obviously. Stranger things have happened, but maybe one day Tugi will be the first player from outside of the US. That would be quite something. Welcome in, Rude Potato. Yeah, you did nap between Snowy and Sweeta's match. Yeah, how could I forget? So the players working their way towards transition here, 20 lines away. Tugi with about a 60,000 point lead and about a Tetris in the future, so about a 40,000 point lead for Tugi. But you would expect these players probably likely to come down to 29 player unless there's an early top out. They just want to stay within scoring range. And I guess this is probably the first time I've seen Lokenze play, so I don't really know what to expect. I just know that they are ranked 40th in ELO, they're a roller. And they have well, not a crazy PB, so I guess that means that they're not that good post-transition, but they're obviously very consistent before 29. Or their ELO wouldn't be that high. Consistency, definitely the most important thing in matches. Tugi 652 now, Lokenze 583. A little bit of a burn. And gets the wall back open. Tetris to go to 613. Tugi in a 70,000 point lead, so it's opened up just a little bit, but Lokenze having to take some burns. Not the ideal pieces, but gets it back open. And neither player's really been anywhere near topping out so far. They're just going through the motions. They've done it a million times before. They can probably just max out every game on command. If only, if only I could do that. But both players on max out pace. Not a crazy amount of long bars, just a regular seed. Lokenze doing some calculations in chat of the pace here. And Tugi is getting further and further ahead now, both in score and lines. 956 for Tugi, 839 for Lokenze, about 5 lines difference. Tugi about to max out. Lokenze has just had a lot of digging compared to Tugi. And a little bit more now to get it open. Back down to the bottom for transition. Tugi's board not looking as clean right now. Transitions A41. Tugi with a bit of a situation to dig out of already, but is getting it done. Lokenze about to transition. Will the long bar come? It does. Lokenze 924 at transition. Tugi with a real-time lead here of 120,000 points. So they both continue to play. Lokenze doesn't go for the tuck there. So perhaps showing their weakness a little bit on 29, but keeps digging and finally succumbs to the pieces. 961 top out for Lokenze. And Tugi is good. B66, so he'll probably mullen this out for a fair median score or whatever. I don't know what players do these days. The sweaty players. Got to get the stats into the database. He's gonna hang a piece, and that is a C. What's a C? I don't even know. Is that a 1.2? Yeah, that's a 1.2. I'm not used to having to work out hexadecimal. Oh yeah, I give Tugi the heart. Oh, did we play in Norg? Interesting. So do have like a vague association with the name, but it's just a screen name. Definitely didn't play Lokenze as many times as I played. Wait, who's that guy that's always on that? Even the last time I looked, he was just on there playing bots. It's kind of where I stopped. There's too many bots. But it didn't make me a much better comp player. I think the repetitions and every match, I mean every game counting, because I think in sets like best of 5 you can let a game slip here and there, but in Norg you want to win every game, right? So it kind of changed my mindset with comp a little bit. Lokenze in another early deck. Tugi not in a deck. Is taking burns anyway because there's a drought, but finally Longbar comes. Tugi 237, Lokenze 150, and not great pieces for this board. Having to take even more burns, a good J piece. Oh man. Oh no. Oh no. This looks like trouble. The line came in clutch there. And that might be enough to save Lokenze. Yeah, I think if that line didn't come, that was all over. But got the flat burn. Usually when you need a line bailout, it's a vertical eye dependency, but that was a horizontal eye dependency right at the top of the board, and survives to keep on fighting here. 243 for Lokenze, 357 for Tugi. Lokenze on row 2 gets a Tetris. It's going to transfer the one out back to the right side. So Tugi 110,000 point lead. And nice adjustment for the Koyan thing there. I haven't really been watching a lot of Tugi. His board just isn't that interesting. It's just stacking for Tetrises and scoring Tetrises. Really, there hasn't been a situation yet that I've really needed to watch, which is good, I guess. But it's probably why Tugi is ranked as high as he is. What do you mean, Rogue? And approaching transition. Once again, huge pace advantage for Tugi. Closing in on a 600k transition. Already has the 600k at 124 lines. And Lokenze is not even going to get to 500 here. And Tugi goes in 635. Lokenze has a line dependency but gets a Tetris 466 into transition. And yeah, Tugi just playing close to perfectly so far. Oh, until that, commentator's curse. That fills in the left side line dependency and has a good board once again. Avoiding setting a line dependency in column 3 there. It was tempting. It's definitely tempting him to do that, but he resisted. Oh, now a huge cavern in the middle of the board takes the 4 burns. So knows he has a huge lead here and not doing anything stupid. Lokenze setting up kind of aggressively also has a cavern in the middle of the board. Waiting for the long bar and had to use the long bar to reopen the well. So didn't get the Tetris, but finally does 629 for Lokenze, 847 for Tugi. So it's like a 240,000 point lead right now for Tugi. It's going to be a tall order for Lokenze, who I don't think is really a 29 merchant, so probably needs Tugi to slip up before then to have a chance here. And Tugi doesn't look like doing that right now. Really clean stack. Tugi 955 here. Is going to get the max on 27 by the looks. Lokenze still barely just outside max out pace for transition, but could get it post transition. Tugi A56. It's about 5 lines ahead, so Tugi will transition first. Oh, that's an annoying square for Tugi. board falling apart a little bit into transition. B68 that gets it sorted out. Lokenze 958. So there's a 200,000 point gap here. So I guess Lokenze closed the gap a little bit at the end there. But still a huge mountain to climb here. He's staying alive. And the board's climbing, but it's still clean, still diggable. Almost got Tetris ready, but it was only a triple and had to burn it down. Tugi, meanwhile, is starting to open up and is now 300,000 points ahead with a 1.3. So he's not waiting around. He knows how to play kill screen. He knows how to build for Tetrises and stay safe, and he's doing that, and is just pouring on Tetrises here. Stat padding with the fair median score here. And just raining down Tetrises. E41, and Lokenze is going to top out at A31. Survived as long as they could, build up a Tetris, but had to block the well and had to go for it. But the way Tugi's playing right now would have taken a miracle. Tugi going for a rollover, perhaps 50,000 points away. Oh, hangs the... oh no. Oh no, he's choked the rollover. Tugi. Oh no. Oh no, the L hang. That was free. Alright, Tugi gets game number 2. Oh yeah, he beat his opponent's PB. That's always a good sign that you're gonna win the game. I think I have actually commentated a player getting a PB in a match before though, and so it's not out of the question. It does happen from time to time. Especially newer players, I guess, because they're always improving. Yeah, PB right now. Easy. So the winner of this match, I assume, is going to the finals. I don't know, is there a winners and losers bracket in this tournament, or is it just a single elim? I don't know. I tried to find the bracket, but I think that was the following one, because I think this is for a giant bracket that they did in the previous month that is still going. So it's taken like a month and a half to get to this point. And that's about all I know. Somebody in chat probably has way more idea what's going on than I do. And Classic Tetris Bi-Weekly, I believe, is organized by this and that, I think. I had a look at it and I was like, oh god, it's like CTM, but you have half as long to schedule your matches. And you still have to do a qualifier like every 2 weeks. It sounds like a nightmare, but I guess there's certain players who just can't get enough Tetris. Oh yeah, and they don't have different tiers. They just shove everybody in the same bracket. So if you're a scrub, you just get taken out pretty early. What's the point, you know? It's like CTM, but worse in every distinguishable way. Except maybe, I don't know, maybe it's easier to report matches. That's probably the one thing. You just shove it in Discord, I assume, and leave it at that. It probably runs, I guess this tournament isn't running on schedule, but I think most of them generally run on schedule, whereas CTM these days is always kind of the previous month. Still trying to get it completed. Oh, most weeks have 2 tiers, okay. So it's just a CTM clone then. But they don't have enough players to have more than 2 tiers. I mean, I looked at like some of the community tournaments, right? And there's like 9 players in them. You have to win 3 matches instead of 4 to get the title. It doesn't feel earned, really, you know? Like, you screw up your qualifier on purpose, and then you beat up a couple of people, and maybe you have one, like, semi-difficult match in the final, and then, oh, you're a CTM champion. Good job, Kingsman. You did it again for like the 10th time. And I don't know. It feels kind of hollow to me, you know. I won back in the day, you know. I had to beat players like Dog and, you know, like Pixel Andy, and you know, it was actually, you know, a competitive bracket. Whereas who's Kingsman beating in these community tournaments? And maybe there'll be somebody, you know, maybe there'll be somebody in a few years, who knows? And then we'll look back and go, wow, Kingsman beat, you know. But I don't even know any of these players' names, but yeah. So, players, I was going to say approaching transition because Tugi has 525 on the board already, but they're actually like 25 lines from transition. Tugi is on a bit of a pace here, once again. Lokenze having a better game as well, to be fair, like not that far off a 600k pace. Does have a Vit set up without the long bar coming though, so that's going to slow things down. Tugi keeping it clean and closing in on the 600. Lokenze will want to get the board down in time for transition. Still got 10 lines to do that. Though they do roll, so even this height on 19 is probably doable. And they're going to take the Cerebral Burn into transition there. Gets the well back open. And nice transition there. Lokenze 500,000, Tugi 647. Lokenze gets the Tetris, brings the board back down, and we'll be playing off row 3 here, or actually decides to just burn it all the way down. Perhaps learnt from earlier games. Oh, actually transfers the well, mind. Yeah, transfers the well, okay. So trying to stay efficient, but also didn't want to stay on row 3. Just center welling instead. And is getting the Tetrises for the time being and transfers it back to the right side. 620 for Lokenze, 792. Tugi. Lokenze must have improved pretty quickly if they were playing... wait, when did Nog come out? Was that this? That was this year, right? I don't even know. I thought it was like 6 months ago. And they're already... they already got like a 1.3. That's a pretty rapid rise, even with rolling. Yeah, it was this year because I remember, yeah, I maxed out on there, and that was this year. So yeah, I mean the competitive on there. Oh, a hang for Lokenze. Is getting the dig though. It's gonna fall further behind. Tugi maxed out on level 26. That's another Tetris into 27. So substantial lead once again for Tugi. 200 and what is that, like 50,000? Yikes. So Lokenze is gonna have some work to do on kill screen once again. And is probably gonna have to beat their post PV in order to chase this down. Tugi goes into kill screen with a 1.1, or the thrill screen, or whatever you want to call it now. The post Lokenze goes in with an 870. Lokenze seems to be pretty good at surviving a low stack, but struggles a little bit getting Tetris ready. It's just an extra row. It's kind of like me playing DAS on 19. Just that extra row kind of would help out so much. And always ends up having to take the burn just as soon as the long bar comes. And hangs a piece, and that's going to be it for Lokenze at 926. Tugi D on the screen. It's going to mullen this out, pad the stats. It was a good set by Tugi. No massive mistakes, no real drama. And it's the well back open for a Tetris. There's no way he survives this. Yeah, he tops out at D64. So GG's. Tugi getting the sweep and advancing to the finals against, I have no idea. There was a match earlier today that I saw. Is that who you're playing? Like, or is that this month's tournament?